I'm live. I'm live again. Do. Okay, let's pretend that the live started with this music. Wait. Hello, welcome, and this is my podcast. It's called I Do What I Want because I do what I want. And I'm your host, Hollis, also fantasy author and very tired. This episode is going to be very quick because as I mentioned, I'm very tired. I have a sinus infection and you know, that's how it is. But I wanted to stay on track with the podcast schedule because I left you all in the lurch for months. And so we're going to do our September recap, which was the planned episode this month anyway. So next month, I actually am going to be doing my podcast on Halloween, which is October 31st. Oh, actually, maybe I'll be doing it on the 26th of October because I like to do it on Sunday evenings. But yeah, anyway, I'm already being loopy. So this September, I really had a great September. I really did. The events were fantastic. I had 3 events for every weekend. I actually this just yesterday I did the Night of Enchanted Realms or the Magical Market that was before the Night of Enchanted Realms Fantasy Ball that was in Dalton, Georgia, put on by Moonlit Productions. So it was the first year for it. We had a really wonderful time. Teddy Bear Body was there with me, so I was really excited. We, had our bundles, everything. The other people in the magical market, I mean, we also spent some money. We made money, but we also spent some money because it was a really wonderful event. And everybody was just lovely. And honestly, I can't wait for it to happen again and again and to become more established because I know it will just get bigger and bigger. The decorations were beautiful and of course incredibly magical. And they had these lovely little photo opportunities everywhere. They had wonderful quotes from like famous fantasy novels and things on the decorated tables and greenery, and it was just lovely. And yeah, so I would strongly recommend if you're in Dalton, Georgia is like North Georgia. So like we had people coming from Tennessee and even like South Carolina. It was about a 2-hour drive for me, coming from Swanee, Georgia, which is northern metro Atlanta, but Dalton's even a little further north than that. So just to give you some geographic context, I guess, it is accessible for many people, and it is if you attend the magical market and the ball, it is an all day event. It is you'll be there. There's food there. It's wonderful. So yeah, I guess I'll work the events backwards. And then the weekend before that, the 20th, I had a wonderful author spotlight day at Second and Charles in Roswell, Georgia. It was fantastic. We're planning on doing another one actually, and Teddy Bear Body was there with me again. I am going to have my books for sale there. I needed to, keep because basically how Second and Charles works, if those of you are familiar with the national chain, they're like a basically a secondhand bookstore. They do get new books in, but when the authors are local, they prefer to purchase them directly from the authors. So we make more money, which is excellent and one of the many wonderful reasons I love working with Second and Charles, especially Second and Charles and Roswell. The manager and the staff, they are just so great. Like so collaborative, so happy to help. Just like I can't say enough good things about them and about the store. And go go support Second and Charles, because Second and Charles, not only can you resell your books there, so you don't have to be an author. Like if you just have books that you don't plan on keeping, you can go to Second and Charles and resell your books. They also have music, they have video games, they have like Funko Pops. They have a bunch of stuff. Their main thing is books, but they have a bunch of different things, and, I strongly recommend you just Google the Second and Charles location closest to you because they are national. I don't know if they're in Canada or anywhere else. They're definitely national. So, definitely do that and just go because they support the local community just by being a major resale establishment. And then, they also really, really work hard, or at least the locations in Georgia work hard to support their local authors. So that's why they have author spotlight days, like what I got to enjoy and I will be enjoying again. And they have book fairs, all sorts of things. So I really, really strongly advise that you just check out Second and Charles. And hey, if you're in Georgia, Second and Charles in Roswell, Georgia is just excellent. Tell Brandy I said hey if you're if you're there, and they really are wonderful people, very accommodating, very kind. I just loved it, and I am going to get all of my books there because at the time I didn't have enough inventory because they wanted a minimum of 5 copies for each book that I had, and since I knew I had, the Night of Enchanted Realms marketplace coming up, that I was like, I need to make sure I have enough inventory for that. So, I've ordered more books, and as soon as I get all the books in, I will have Second and Charles. I'm gonna be giving them, like, 8 copies of To Save a World, and 5 copies of pretty much everything else. And so yay! So they'll have all of it. And my friend Sarah Aaron, who is also my publisher, 21 Chieftains Press, and she's an award-winning poet. Oh, I love it. I love it. Actually, her second poetry book, the Secrets Make You Sick, she just won the was the winner in for the mental health category of the International Impact Book Awards. So I am so crazy proud of her and so excited for her. And I recently redesigned the cover for her. So, she originally designed the first cover for herself, but she asked if I would redesign the cover for her once she won the award, because she wanted, like, to put that award on the cover and all those other things, and she just said, I just feel like it was never quite what I wanted, so would you please design my book cover for this? I did design the book cover for her first poetry book, which is also an award winner, um, and that one is Behind Her City Eyes. And that's actually how we met several years ago and became really, really good friends. So I read so her new the new cover of Secrets Make You Sick by Sarah Aaron is available everywhere. It's on Ingram, it's on Amazon, it's all the places. And go read it. It's truly an amazing, very impactful journey. And it really does enlighten you to a lot of things that if you've never been through those particular experiences, you really become aware of, or you might even find it very, very relatable or cathartic to read it. So I do strongly suggest doing that. When it's a poetry book. So the other good news about it is it's not like a novel where you have to where you mean you have to. I love reading novels, but you can skip around. You can pick it up and put it down because, poems are a page, 2 pages at most, and that kind of thing. So, um yeah. So that's yeah, this sinus infection's throwing me through a loop. I've been, like, migrainey and dizzy since, like, Thursday night, and it is now Sunday for those of you who are not paying attention to the anyway, but people yesterday at the event, they didn't know I am very, very, very practiced and good at masking and just, like, saying, "Yep, everything's fine, let's go," and, getting things done, but my body is very angry at me. Anyway, so checking my notes here. Before Second and Charles Roswell, so that was the 20th, so Second and Charles Roswell, again, excellent. I will have a bunch of books there at the Roswell location, and I know the Kennesaw location bought at least one copy of each of my books, in June, and I actually need to check back with them because they probably have sold everything by now. So I should check back with them and see. But yes, that was excellent. And before that, on the 14th, 13th of September this year, it was the Georgia Indie Book Fair in Marietta, Georgia. And that is something I've done for the past 3 years. Uh, and I shared a table with Alara Dunn, who is the author of the Magic Locker series. It's a YA magical realism fantasy, which is really great. I will not be sharing a table going forward. We'll probably try to be next to each other and everything, but honestly, at this point, I'm writing so many books that I don't have enough space with just half a table. So I'm gonna need my own table moving forward at events, because yeah, I just will, but we'll still be both at that event every year. But yeah, going forward, I'll have my table and she'll have hers, and we'll probably request to be next to each other. But I'll just be in my own space. Um, but that was excellent. I was on one of the panels, which was really fun. It was just about just English grammar. Those of you who don't know, I'm internationally certified TEFL instructor, which is teacher of English as a foreign language via the Boland School by the Cambridge Standard, blah, 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 blah. I used to teach English to business professionals like Honeywell executives and the president of Pilsner Urquell beer, actually, and things like that. So, and veterinary university professors in Brno, Czech Republic. So I do know quite a bit about grammar. My editors actually, I really, other than typos, I really don't need much proofreading editing. I of course content editing is very helpful, but yeah, my editors are always going, well, honestly, you really, unless it's a typo, you're it's very difficult to catch you in a grammatical error. So, and if I do it, it's usually on purpose because the character is speaking in a certain way. And uh yeah, and it's part of the dialogue that they have an accent or some funny thing like that, or they are just speaking in a colloquial manner, shall we say. But yeah, so I'm very proud of that, and that was a really exciting and fun panel. Of course, we all professed our love for the Oxford comma, which is very important, and you can pry it from my cold, dead fingers. I will never give it up, and I will continue to put it in all of my manuscripts because that is how you type, and it's correct, and that's the end. And many, many, many of you agree with me out there, I know. So thank you for that. And yay Oxford comma for life. But that was wonderful. I will continue to do the Georgia Indie Book Fair every year. And if you don't know, Georgia Indie Book Fair is a free event. The Second and Charles was also absolutely a free event. You just show up, and then a lot of the events I do, like of course the conventions and the Enchanted Realms and that sort of thing. Those usually have admission fee for whatever reason, but Georgia Indie Book Fair, you get all of these wonderful books. A lot of local. Obviously, they give preference to the indie authors who are applying, but there are other vendors there, usually related to literature. People who make like cool bookmarks and just other artistic things that count like that, or that relate. Everything counts, but that relate, and but it is, and they do have panels. Like I said, they have panels throughout the day. It is just one day, but they have panels and all these things. So it's like a little mini con in a lot of ways, and it's totally free, which is rare for an event of that caliber. So yeah, if you are anywhere near Marietta, Georgia in March or September, I always do the September event, the event in September, but they do it twice a year. They have a March one and a September one. So if you're around Marietta, Georgia, in March or September, check out the Georgia Indie Book Fair because they're free, they're excellent, and I mean, even if you just show up and walk around and make some new friends and visit some panels, that that's fantastic. It's very enriching, it's very lovely, so social. And, but so September was a wonderful month for me. I am really pleased and I'm very, very grateful. So thank you to everyone who um, had me as an author at your event, who helped. And of course, thank you to my collaboration partner, Teddy Bear Body, Lyric, and Mark, and Ari. You are absolutely wonderful. And I am just so happy to be collaborating with you and have you all as wonderful friends in my life because everything's more fun with you around. And I just, yeah, every time we make up a new scent and that sort of thing, it all just comes together so beautifully. So thank you. Special thank you to Teddy Bear Body. And I will be at Multiverse in October, October 18th. I'm a panelist and I'm a guest. I'm not selling anything at Multiverse this year though. Well, I've never sold at Multiverse. I've shown up at Multiverse a few times, but I'm going to do it again. And so I will be there. I'm going to be teaching like a mini workshop slash panel on book cover design, or actually I'm going to take you through the process live. I'm going to do like a mock book cover, just sort of and show you how I do it. And I'll be answering questions, but it's not just for people who want to design covers. It's also so that as an indie author or anyone who needs to work with a designer, so that you understand the design process, and especially if you've just never been through it before, because as somebody who designs as well as is the author and everything else, I've been on both ends, and I was a project manager and everything for branding, design and marketing agencies for a while. So I've been on the communication. I've been the liaison between client and designer hundreds of times, with big name clients. We actually, for former the agencies that I worked for, we had clients like Emory University and Georgia Southern, and or a Southern company actually, and like we had some big, uh some Fortune 500 companies that were clients, and then we had little bitty local places like little like we had an after school like daycare, or after school care thing that was just like we had everything. It was an agency, but a lot of the time you run into these people who don't a lot of people just don't understand the design process, and they don't understand the what sort of things they need to tell the designer to properly communicate their vision. They don't understand what kind of how certain things they say might be translated by designers, because you might think that something means this, but designers will constantly say, give me a visual example, give me a visual example, because a lot of the time one client you can say something like ethereal, and one client is going to mean puffy white clouds, and to them that is ethereal, but ethereal actually has a pretty broad definition, and to another client that could mean purple haze and like watery lines. So like if you just tell us ethereal, we don't know what that means to you. And which is one of the things. So I'll be, while I'm putting you through the mock book cover thing, I not only will be kind of showing you how to do it if you're so inclined to try to design your own things, but I'll also be teaching you how to communicate with your designer as a client, as somebody who's trying to get their best book cover or whatever material you're trying to get designed, so that you can get what you see in your head. And this designer who doesn't exactly get your direct definition of an abstract word will actually know what you want from them. And those sorts of things are really, really important. But anyway, I'm going into things. But that's what I'll be doing at Multiverse. I'll also be on at least one other panel that I am not moderating. That I'm just on for funsies, and I can't. I maybe two. Oh, yeah, anyway, it's gonna be great. And then, the weekend of November 14th is Conjuration, and I'm really excited about Conjuration, so I always have a wonderful time there. I absolutely love it. I love everyone who puts on stuff at the whole con staff and organizers. They're wonderful people, love seeing them, a couple times a year. They're the same people who put on Stellar Fest, who again, I go to anything that Chris and Angela organize because they're lovely people and they make it fun for me and they make it really easy for me to just show up and do my thing, support them and sell my books and do that. Plus I love their panel choices. I of course always submit a bunch of panel things for my as well, but I love just doing all the panels because the ones that they choose to put out there are really fun and interesting to chat about. So I do love that. But Conjuration, November 14th in Duluth, Georgia. So come see me. I'm really excited about that. Oh, things are going great with my publicist. I think I said in my last podcast, I have a publicist. He's awesome. Love him. Mike is awesome. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of interviews. I'm on the schedule for a lot of interviews. Obviously, when you get on somebody's calendar, then it's usually at least a matter of weeks, if not months, before you actually then record and yada yada yada. But I will definitely be giving you updates about. I've booked about 7 to 10 interviews. I need to check since then, and I've had author spotlight days on, or and book features on Facebook, and he does a lot of stuff through Facebook. I'm not super Facebooky personally. I have a Facebook that I have left sort of dead in the water and is just auto populated from my Instagram. But I will be slightly, ever so slightly, like this much more active on Facebook. I honestly I would, just because that's where he is most active and that's where his community base is. But honestly, I really only have bandwidth for one social media, and I have chosen Instagram. So I will be that much more on Facebook. But if you want to DM me, if you want to talk to me, check me out on Instagram, and I am very active on there. I usually check it at least daily. I post several times a week, and yeah, so please. But really wonderful, really excited. Definitely seeing uptick in my engagement and everything else. So I'm really, really pleased. And if you're a fellow author, Authors in Focus. His name is Mike. I don't know if he's looking for new clients right now, but give him a shout out. He works with fantasy and sci-fi indie authors. So if you're a fellow author who's looking for a publicist, give him a shout out. See what he's like, because he's legitimate. He's a great guy, really easy to chat with, and very, very good communicator, which I appreciate. Do okay. Yeah. So the last thing on my little agenda here is that the updates for book series. Yay! So The Key, the first book in the Rashawn Histories trilogy, is definitely coming out in March. I am, in the middle of getting it transcribed from the first draft. I'm really happy with how everything's coming along. I'm in like my editor is up to chapter 15. I'm up to chapter 22, and I'm sending in big chunks and everything. But yeah, everything, it's going so great. I even just transcribing, going back, I'm like, oh my god, I love my own story so much. So I'm so excited to share The Key with you all, and just have it released in March. And I'm going to probably do my cover reveal for that in December. I don't know the exact date yet, but sometime in December, most likely, I will be doing the cover reveal for The Key, and then we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it up for pre-sale. I'm hoping in January, because everything's on track for it. I already have the cover designed. I have, yeah, I got things designed. I got it. I got it. I am on it. I'm feeling great. I've started writing the second book in the trilogy, Ambition and Justice, and that's going really well. I'm having a lot of fun with that one, actually, a lot of fun. All of the Histories trilogy books are also based on D&D games that I played with my best friend. So they're all really fun, great adventures. I'm so thrilled. And I'm, the inner child in me is just uncontrollably giddy about it because I'm reliving my wonderful adventures and of course adapting them and adding a bunch of stuff and leaving out some of the stuff that we just don't need to worry about because it was just fun, silly D&D that is really fun and silly when you're playing, but it doesn't translate to novels. But it's wonderful just revamping the characters and everything, and The Key and Ambition and Justice are gonna be a little more, akin to Save a World in the fact that the romantic subplot is more at the surface, it's definitely more intertwined with the plot, with the main plot of the books, with, the 3rd book in that trilogy, Starflower's Way, that one will still have a romantic subplot like most of my books, pretty much all of my books do, except for some of the Lost Beacon Chronicles, but that one will be more akin to like the Queen Witch, wherein it's there, but it's definitely more the underscore to the plot, whereas the romantic subplot is very heavily intertwined with the plot of the Key, and then what will be the second book that will be released in the spring of 2027, Ambition and Justice. So yeah, excellent, excellent, and I'm just yeah, I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon about that. Lost Beacon Chronicles. I actually had so much interest in the Lost Beacon Chronicles at the Night of Enchanted Realms market. So it made me so happy because that one is a little it gets um, people don't go for that one as much as the Rashawn series. I love it so much. It has a lot of personal meaning to for me, and I was thrilled that so many people were excited about Lost Beacon Chronicles, and um, and so I am also writing the next book in that kind of slow. I'm the plan for that one. So we already have Spare the Swallow, which is the origin story, book 0, which yes, I had to do it. It makes it fun for me. And then the Lost Beacon Chronicles 1, Ignited, is the is what happens after Spare the Swallow. And those are the only 2 books outright in it right now, but it will be a continuous series, not trilogies or anything, just a continuous, like, keep it moving kind of series. And Rampage, I am projecting that I will have that out in the fall of 2028. It might be sooner, depending. Those books are not as long as, remember Sean series books, they tend to be at least 300 pages each. Lost Beacon Chronicles, they're shorter. They're more they're faster reads. And so those stay around like 200 pages. Spare the Swallow is a little longer because it's the origin story, but like Ignited is just under 200 pages. And then that's kind of my standard. It'll be like 150 to 200 for all of those. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that is where I'm gonna say goodnight, 'cause you know, I've been babbling now, and I'm really, really grateful to anyone and everyone for listening, so thank you so much for that. I genuinely appreciate you, and, you know, I'm so excited and happy that to be able to share my books with you and my future books and everything, so have have an absolutely wonderful night. The next episode of the podcast um will be Oh my god, October 26th. That's what we're gonna do. So, absolutely, I'll see you then.